Okay, everyone, so it's time for the weekly meal plan episode. If you haven't listened before, basically what I do is just share with you what I have on my meal plan for the upcoming week. It can be used if you want to follow the recipes, or if you want to just use it to get yourself some ideas for some things maybe you haven't made in a while, or maybe just as motivation to create a meal plan. I think it's really important to create a meal plan each week for many reasons. One of them being that it just makes life a lot easier to not have to think about what you're making for dinner that night. And then another one is that it makes it much easier to budget and to not go over budget because you already know exactly what you need to buy when you go to the food store. So this meal plan runs from Saturday through Friday. And I do use like a simple meal rotation. So you'll notice if you listen over the course of time, there's going to be certain things that are kind of repetitive. Like for example, I always generally give the same example, but every other Monday we do hamburgers. Every other Tuesday we do tacos, and I kind of have like a meal rotation that I follow to make it really easy for the future week's meal plans to kind of build themselves, because I will look ahead and put the meal on that week at whatever interval we're having it. Of course, I mix things up sometimes depending on what's going on. As the seasons change, I'll kind of switch some things out seasonally. I try and mix up some sides, but generally it makes it really easy to have like a basic rotation of meals that we make that I just keep on the meal plan. So this is my real life meal plan. So what happens occasionally, not too often, but this week in particular, 2 times, I don't have any meals planned for Sunday, and I don't have a meal plan for Wednesday. And that's because we actually happen to have 2 birthdays fall this week, this upcoming week that the meal plan's for. We're going out to dinner for my sister's birthday on Sunday, and then during the week on Wednesday, we're going to be ordering in food for my daughter's birthday. So what I would suggest is just picking out something else, obviously, to fill in if you are using this meal plan. Some things that I thought of maybe that you might want to throw in there might be chili might be good because we're getting into fall now, or like soup and grilled cheese I usually kind of have every other week. I don't know, things like that. You can fill in the gaps, but I try, well, I don't try not to make that happen. It just doesn't normally happen, but this week we happen to have the 2. And like I said, this is my real life meal plan, so unfortunately I just don't have meals planned for those 2 days. Also, I will share with you where these recipes can be found if they're recipes that are online, and I also do post the recipes if they're things that are online to the Facebook page also. Okay, so let's get started. So Saturday, October 3rd is the first day of the meal plan. So for Saturday, I have sheet pan chicken fajitas. So it's basically, okay, this recipe is from foodnetwork.com. So it's basically just your typical like cut up chicken with peppers and onions, and you put it on a pan and roast it, and then just serve it on like flour tortillas. And then with that, I'm also making chipotle black bean chili. That's from myplantbasedfamily.com, and that's a vegetarian chili made with quinoa and what else is in there? I mean, it's like black beans, quinoa, corn, and a variety of other ingredients. But I will make that for my daughter who doesn't eat meat, so because she won't eat the chicken fajitas, but she can have that, and it also goes good as a side dish, also for anyone who might want it with the chicken fajitas. So that is Saturday. Like I said, Sunday we're eating out, so I don't have a meal for this Sunday. But Sunday does sound like it would be a good day for chili, because it's like, if you're not too busy on Sunday, hopefully you can kind of put some chili on the stove or in the crock pot or something like that. Monday, we are doing ribeye steak. I don't have a recipe for that specifically. I usually just marinate it with Montreal steak seasoning and some olive oil and red wine vinegar. And then in the summer, I throw it on the grill. But now that it's getting cooler out, I will cook it under the broiler. But be careful if you do that, because I almost caught my oven on fire cooking a steak under the broiler because I had it too close, and the grease like splattered up, I guess, and hit like the broiler flame, and yeah, like the steak caught on fire. It was like real flame broiled steak, but it was kind of scary. So just be careful, make sure you have it far enough away and really stand there and keep an eye on it if you're gonna broil it. And with that, I'm making a new recipe that I haven't tried before, but I believe it to be like the typical green bean casserole like you would have, like a lot of people make it like for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. It's from allrecipes.com and it's called Best Green Bean Casserole. I happen to have a few cans of green beans that I wanted to use up, so that's why I decided to make that, and I thought it would go pretty good with the steak. And then I'm also gonna do crispy air fried sweet potato wedges. That's from cookinglight.com, and it's pretty much just like potato wedges that you cook in the air fryer, like you would make like sweet potatoes into like potato wedge like fries, you know, type thing, and then you cook it in the air fryer. But of course you could also bake it in the oven if you don't have an air fryer. Then for Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, October 6th, is going to be Taco Tuesday. We do that every other Tuesday, like I mentioned earlier. So tacos is just your typical just ground beef, chicken, or turkey with some taco seasoning, and then I buy the shells. I buy the flour tortillas also, and you know, I just put out like cheese, taco sauce, sour cream. I can't even think what else I put out. Oh, duh, lettuce and tomato. You know, just whatever things you like on your tacos. And then also with that, I'm making Instant Pot lentil tacos. I make this usually kind of every other time that we do tacos, for a different filling for my daughter who doesn't eat meat. It's from tastebetterfromscratch.com, and it's like a lentil taco filling that you can make in the Instant Pot. It's super, super easy. When I don't make that, I'll usually just heat up like a can of refried beans, and she'll use that for like the meat, I guess, in the taco. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, like I said, we're not going to be here. Maybe that would be a good night for like soup and grilled cheese, just to give you an idea to throw in there. Thursday night, we're doing Chef John's sausage and shrimp jambalaya. That's from allrecipes.com. Every time I have this on my meal plan, I always mention I don't actually follow the recipe fully. I have in the past, and it's really good. But I kind of just use this as a placeholder to remind myself of a simplified version that I have started making, just because I try and do as simple as possible on weeknights. And pretty much what I do is I just cook up the broth with the shrimp and green peppers, and I kind of saute that up in one pan, and then I'll do the sausage separately, and then I cook rice separately. So then I'll kind of serve like the rice with like the shrimp and the peppers with like a broth, and then the sausage, so everyone can kind of build like their own bowl, because some people in my family don't like the rice with like a lot of broth on it, and some do. So that way you can add as much broth and shrimp on your rice as you want. And then also my daughter that doesn't eat meat doesn't have to have the sausage in it, and then those of us who want the sausage can add it. So that's kind of how I've been making that. And then already the last meal of the week is for Friday, which is penne with broiled chicken. This is something that is really simple that I have fairly frequently. It's not an actual recipe, but what I do is I just take boneless chicken breast, I cut it up in small pieces, toss it with a little olive oil and some seasoning, and cook it under the broiler so it just gets like slightly crispy, like almost like a grilled consistency. And then I just toss it with a box of cooked penne pasta with like some olive oil and a little garlic powder. And then when it's off the heat, I'll toss in some shredded mozzarella cheese so that it doesn't like fully melt, but it just kind of gets that like partially melted consistency in the pasta, and it comes out really good. My family likes it, and it's a really quick meal that we have pretty frequently. And then with that, I was just going to do a side of frozen vegetables, whatever I happen to have on hand. I usually try and keep some of those like steam fresh type vegetables in, you know, like corn or broccoli or whatever, and just kind of throw it in the microwave, and that'll be a side dish with that. So that is it for this week's meal plan. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any suggestions on episodes, on format, anything like that, I would really love to hear from you. You can reach me at facebook.com/Lola's Frugal Life. Send me a message there through Facebook Messenger. You can also join our private listeners group, which is at facebook.com/groups/Lola's Frugal Life. We have a nice group of people forming there, and we can talk about all different topics related to the show. Meal planning, cleaning, frugality, budgeting, anything. So submit a request. I check it daily, and I will definitely approve you as soon as I see your request come through. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and if you feel up to leaving a review, it would be really, really much appreciated. I understand it has a big impact on having others find the show. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be really great. And that's it for today. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.